Yes. Uh, I must congratulate all the women entrepreneurs in this hall that they have taken a first step towards the journey of entrepreneurship. And at PCSIC, as we know, we always encourage women entrepreneurs. We are open to all sectors, but specifically we are open to all women entrepreneurs and we support them as much as we can. So feel free to connect with us over here. I just wanted to mention one thing in this, whatever 3 years I observed the startup ecosystem. I observed that for a startup or entrepreneurs, the risk-taking ability is very important criteria. And if you have that ability, then you can succeed. Chances of success are more. And what I observed that women entrepreneurs are likely to get success more than men entrepreneurs. Being a man, I am just still telling that because that's my observation. So I was just thinking, what can be a reason behind it? A logical reason that why women entrepreneurs has a more success rate than men. Then I observed that the risk-taking ability is more in women than men. So what do you feel? What can be a reason?
Frugality and minimalism.
What is that?
Frugality and minimalism.
Okay. So what I have observed, maybe a logic behind it. You agree or not? But thing is, when a girl marries and change into woman, they change the family name. They change the entire family. They go from one family to other family. That's the biggest risk in the life. What men don't take that risk. Including me, if somebody tells me that you take that risk, I will not do that. So that is the biggest risk a woman takes. And you know, in life, everything is relative. It's not absolute. So you compare everything. So this risk is so big that the other business risk is very small to them. And that's the reason possibly they are more risk-taking ability and they are more succeeding than men. That's my logic behind it. So you guys may agree or not. But it seems logical, isn't it? So all men I'm asking in this room, is it logical? Agree? Great. So, definitely. So, exactly, and not only risk-taking ability, they are multitasking personality also. So, both the things makes their combination very support the business environment. So, so that's my take about it.
And remaining thankless about it.
Thank you so much for the lovely viewpoint. I would pick on what Suhasini ma'am just said, that if we look at where are we in terms of women entrepreneurs, out of 80 million entrepreneurs in India, there are 8 million who are women entrepreneurs, which is just 14% of overall number. This is where we are right now. And we need to move to 50%. What were the challenges? Our challenges were, first challenge was definitely opportunity for women. If we look at 10 years back, I was in corporates. I have seen both the world, corporate and now being a businesswoman. So in corporate also I've seen that, out of 5, if we call a managerial meeting, if we call a leadership meeting, I was the only woman there among all the men, I was proud of it, definitely proud of it, but I would have been more prouder if I saw more women sitting right next to me and expressing, and presenting ideas. Challenges which we had was, okay, when somebody once asked in corporate that, where do you see yourself? I simply said, I want to be CEO of an organization. And the simple answer was, but you're not a tech. So the thought process was, because you're working in an IT company and you do not know technology, how can you be a CEO of the company? And I simply said, okay, I'll build my own company and become a CEO. That's what I said 10 years back, and I did that. Right? So opportunity was biggest challenge for all the women, and second was definitely talent. Now, why talent and how have we worked on it? So if we look at organization now, all the corporates now, there are a lot of programs, there's gender diversity which has come into picture, which has added to a lot more opportunity. There are more women leaders coming up now. That opportunity has further helped maybe motivated women to work on talent building. So if you see now, there are more women in, actually STEM related field. Earlier we did not see them in those fields, right? Women were not really into scientific things or technology, but now the number has changed. It is because corporates are working very hard on gender diversity. Third problem was definitely financial freedom. Now, women in India have always been the earner. I wouldn't say that they were not earning, but they were never the decision makers. Okay. The reason why I could move easily from corporate to starting up on my own, because I had enough money of my own to actually take a decision. I didn't have to ask my father, I didn't have to ask my husband that I want to start something new. I had enough capital with me to get started. Now that capital is just to get started. You have to raise more money. But the reason I could get started was because I was financially, so I was stable, I could take that decision, I could get started. You definitely need other support. The fourth issue was definitely the, social dynamics. Suhasini ma'am did talk about it. That, I'll tell you my own example that when I said I'm starting something like this and that and announced to the family, first question was, who's the partner with you? This was the first question coming from my own parents, my own family, that who is partnering with you? I said, I'm doing it all alone. So these were the issues which we saw in the past, but things have changed because, like I said, now there's financial freedom. Women can decide for themselves. They're not only contributing to the everyday household expenses, they're actually making decisions for their investments, making decisions where to invest, where not to invest. And lastly, the incubators, the women-centric platforms which we have got, I know quite a few of them, I'm part of few of them, where we are actually supporting and mentoring all these women entrepreneurs who really want to start up. You may have money, you may have technology, you may have expertise, but then how do I get started? Is the first question every woman asks. Now, men to men would take a cigarette break and discuss and done with that, right? Women, we never did that. So now there are a lot of incubators in place where you can go and get mentorship from them and get started. So yes, things have changed and things have changed for good, but that 14% has to go to 50%.
So at our center, PCSIC, we have a women entrepreneurs percentage at the moment 20. So we have a target in 2023 to take it to at least 30%. So
very valid point, and thank you for acknowledging, the space that a lot of communities that are building, right? And I'm very proud that we at Billion Divas have been on the forefront as well. And one very valid point that you mentioned, that I'll come to you on that, in terms of challenges, right? So, Suhasini, coming to you, especially you have been in a very dynamic space which is consulting, right? What has been your experience and challenge when it comes to building market access?
No, so challenges are many, and Lavina pointed out some challenges that women face, but I want to say one thing here, that there are many natural advantages of being a woman entrepreneur. And actually we should leverage those advantages. There are many advantages of being a woman out in the area of business. We keep hearing about the challenges. I don't mind talking about the challenges, but it should not discourage younger women from coming forward. So let me tell you some of the advantages. Women are in a minority, women are more visible. And I'm a marketing person, visibility is good. You won't forget women. Will you ever forget that you saw Jailam here, or Lavina here, or me here? I can tell you that you will not. I went to a CII event and I was sitting towards the back of the hall. There were 100 men in front of me. They were all wearing dark blue jackets. There was a sea of dark blue jackets there. Okay, we are colorful. And I can say this to you, whether you're a man or a woman, a young person, don't invest in a dark blue jacket. I'm sorry, sponsor, sorry about this, yeah. He's our sponsor, I'm sorry. So don't invest in a dark blue jacket, but the point I'm making is that we are in a minority, and I'll tell you something, this may be very politically not correct to say, but I can say that because only a few women are in the field of work, it's the smartest women who are in the field of work. That's sorry. Okay, I have complete respect for those who are not in the field of work, and I don't want to demean them in any way. But this is the truth. We are in a minority, and we are highly visible, and we are the smartest. Okay, so that's the given. Now the other thing is that we handle social media for various people. So we are behind the scenes. Say he's a CEO, she's a CEO. Our agency is behind the scene. Social media works very differently for women and for men. Okay, it works very differently. On her behalf, if I send 50 connection requests, it behaves very differently. On his behalf, I send 50 connection requests, it behaves very differently. Yes, it's true. So the point is that we need to understand our advantage and our visibility and leverage it and move forward with that confidence. That's just what I'm not trying to negate the challenges, but we also have to recognize that there are certain advantages.
I think that's a different perspective. I never thought myself. I am moving out of blue and maroons now. I'm going to be colorful. Absolutely true. Absolutely. I think it's a great marketing trick and a great marketing tip, right? I'm going to be burgundy, yellow, purple, violet, pink, all the best colors. But thank you so much. I think it's a wonderful, way of looking at things as well. And as you rightly said, pick up any social media, right? Post. The kind of likes that women entrepreneurs or women get, sometimes we think, "Humne kya paap kiya hai?" Jabki relevance hai. But anyways, coming to Zenalji, you've been in the tourism space for a long, right? And KC has been a very recurrent name, right? How did you manage to create your own space in this huge man's world as a woman entrepreneur?
I think again advantage, because there was nobody. We were the first one famous. But yes, I think for our business, especially service industry, all over the world, I feel people are same, and all over the world in service industry, women are doing much better than men. Probably that sixth sense, they say women can, at home, what you do usually when guest comes, that's what we do in our business, and that's why we are better. Probably. But yes, when it comes to challenges, I look at it is any challenge makes you grow. It is like stepping stone for your growth. And when I never felt in my life, whatever my probably 38 years of career, as assistant, as employee, as director, as owner, when I was in US, I started my company. I always felt being women is more advantageous. I never ever felt that I would have been male, this would have happened. I never felt. I always felt, because I am woman, I have so many advantages. And my work gets done. Like, the way you speak, when I say my work gets done, the no is not answer, is my mantra. So wherever I go, I know I should get that work done. And maybe women are more soft-spoken. There is still respect in our world. If women are doing good, there is more respect probably. But I always felt being women, I had advantage in my business. I could take better care of our guests. I could think, in today's world, I think you provide something as per their expectation, as per your client's expectation, has become okay. You have to think beyond and give them what they are not expecting. And that is where you become smart in her world, words I would say. Because that is what you need to think. You have to be, there is so much competition, you have to be on your toes, you have to be innovative, and I'm proud to say that we have done a lot of innovation in tourism industry of India. Have you thought of honeymoon tours? And when we started honeymoon tours, people were laughing. "ए honeymoon को कौन जाएगा इनके साथ?" And I tell you, we at one point we have taken 150 people. That means 75 couples to Shimla Manali. So and today these honeymoon tours are famous. And then our women tour, My Fair Lady. That is also innovation. When we thought of My Fair Lady, we were thinking, ये चलेगा क्या? Indian women though don't travel alone. I mean, they do travel for business or for studies, but they are not traveling alone for leisure trip. तो हमें लगा ट्राई तो करते हैं, 30-40 तो मिल जाएंगे. And with our first launch of women tour, 320 ladies registered for that tour. So that's when I say you have to be innovative. You have to find newer market for any business you are in, and that makes you grow. One small success and then series, small success and series of success gives you bigger success. So we spend quite a lot on our brand building, and एक ही example I'll give you. When we were thinking we want to become most trusted brand of India, so हम क्या कर सकते हैं? Then we realized there is cream in the market which advertises कि you put this cream and you become fair. But in actual term मैंने बहुत लगाया, कुछ नहीं हुआ. So this is what we decided कि whatever we will give, whatever we print in newspaper, whatever we say, that will come out true. So campaign like Carry Zero Money, that is again we started in India. So you come to our Europe tour, you don't have to pay additional any money. And people, I have given in Pune especially, people used to walk into office, आप लिख के देंगे कि सच में we don't have to pay anything. And in past, now that we are famous, that really in case you don't have to pay on tour. But in olden days, many times I have written and signed, you really don't have to pay on tour. That's what I have done. But that is brand promise, kind of. So I think that is what you keep on doing in business and grow, basically.
So I think innovation has to be there in whatever space you say, right? So Lavina, coming to you, and Udaji, after that, I'm going to take it for you. Rent and Attire, and I know it very closely because I've seen how it's grown, right? What has been your experience, especially as a brand which talks about renting, attires, which was never heard, I think 4-5 years ago. Some thoughts on that?
So the journey has been amazing, and amazing challenges, amazing changes. When we started in year 2015 with a flagship store in Pune, for first few months, the calls which we would get from individuals used to be, okay, Shivaji Maharaj ke kapde honge kya, maybe Bhalu ke kapde honge kya, these kind of things, and it was a little frustrating. I mean, it took us a lot of time to create a place for us in the industry. Now, renting has always been there. I mean, whosoever is from North would know that in bits and pieces there are small shops where people rent out outfits. However, this has been very unorganized market. What we wanted to create was to build a marketplace, to create a very organized market, and so we basically pioneered in creating that space in the industry which wasn't there earlier. So today, when we started with just 40 clothes. Now, we don't just rent out outfits, we buy and we put it on rent. What we do is much more interesting than that. We rent out outfits taking outfits from people like you, and then we further rent it out to people. So absolutely no creation of new outfits. So what we are doing is we are bringing in sustainability in the fashion market. Now, if all of you know, 40% of the landfills are filled by textile waste. 40%. That's exactly where we wanted to make a difference, and the idea was not just to rent out, the idea was to help environment in a way where we can reduce that textile waste. Now, if one outfit is rented for 15 times, imagine how many times that outfit is not getting created. And the good thing is, it's not only about multiple times somebody is wearing. One person is going economical by saving money, and the other person is making money out of it. The other person who has listed the outfit is actually making money out. Have you ever thought of making money out of our outfits ever? Anybody? That's the difference we are making in the industry right now. So when we started, we had just 40 outfits. And trust me, when we started with those 40 outfits, it was like, literally begging friends, they just, dikhane ke liye number chahiye, give me some outfits, So that's how we started. And today, what we see is every day there are close to 100 plus outfits which get listed on our website. We have a tab called Learn Through Us. And then there's this big supply chain team whose only job is to keep talking to people, further filtering it, and then approving. So today we have more than 2,000 plus outfits listed with us. We are delivering across India, and we have 3 stores running, successful stores running, 2 in Pune, 1 in Dehradun, and 1 was in Delhi, which we closed. Now the challenges, if I have to talk about, is more of changing the mindset of people, that few of my own friends said, oh, we will never rent, why? I'm earning decent, why should I rent? So changing that mindset, it's not about just being affordable, it's also about making an impact to the industry by saving, the environment. So post-COVID, things have changed drastically for us, where people became more aware about sustainability. Now people are talking about sustainable living, people are talking about unnecessary, environment. So that has helped us tremendously. When I say changing mindset, I have very interesting examples. So it is not only about changing mindset of people, it was also changing mindset of me as an individual, as an entrepreneur. Now I was used to work in a corporate environment where I would just drop in an email to people, to the team and say, hey, this shall be done by the end of the day. And you leave, right? And then it gets done. That's how the overall sector works. Now moving from that IT corporate to building something on my own, which was very new, I had to deal with the dry cleaners, the tailors, all those people. I thought, I'm good at setting up processes, I'll do that. But so I had a team of fashion folks, technology people and all that. So once I just told this tailor that kal aap time pe aa jao, subah itne baje aa jana. And this guy did not show up. And when I was saying that, my team was looking at me that, why are you talking like that? So I was not sure what is happening. So the other day, next day, this tailor did not turn up, phone switched off. We had to look for him. So then I understood that from, this shall be done, to I moved to bhaiya kal please aa jana. That's the difference I had to, put in myself as well. So it's not only about changing mindset of others, it's also about changing yourself as an entrepreneur from one sector to another. So that was major change which I brought into myself, and what helped us tremendously was technology. Bhushan did very interesting presentation on AI. So what has helped us is everything is happening through technology. We are purely paperless company. Everything happens through technology.
I've got an idea of where my blue tape is going. So I say, what do you want?
What do you want me to talk about?
Any thoughts on your experience?
No, so generally my work with entrepreneurs, I have worked with entrepreneurs across multiple countries. I'm a B2B marketing specialist. So I'll just say a general thing, it's true for men and women, that most entrepreneurs start with some passion that they're good at, some technology. We heard the presentation earlier, AI and VR and so on. And then they reach a certain size, and we see that some people reach that size at 1 crore, 2 crores, some people 5 crores, some people 10, 15 crores. And then they kind of stay there for a very long time. Now this is a point that is not discussed much. Startup as such is glamorized, you know, you're a startup, you get funding. This is over glamorized. But slow and steady growth with revenue, because I think the best source of funding is sales, but I'm not a finance person, so whatever. But the point is that why do people reach that kind of stagnant position, 5 crore or 10 crore or 15 crore? We see a lot of that, and mostly what I see is that people reach a certain size by selling to their network. So I was working in Infosys, I had an idea, I started something, and then my colleagues from Infosys are in a few companies, I got some sales, I reached say 5 crores or 10 crores, or I am from IIT, or I am my network, I got that first. But then there is not a systematic approach to growth, to creating a pipeline, to building a brand. That is what is lacking. So that's the passion that I have, to not have anybody stagnate at that whatever that level is. And I know people who have been stagnant at 7, 8 crores for 10, 15, 20 years. To somebody who's starting out today, it sounds a lot, अरे वो 7 करोड़ पे पहुंच गया, but जो 7 करोड़ पे 10-15 साल से है, वो बहुत frustrated है. So the point is that systematic approach to brand building, sales, marketing is required to take it to the next level, whatever that next level is. So.
What to add one more thing in this, in challenges what we said, financial confidence. What I observed that women are there and they are making the value addition in their startup or their enterprise. But when it comes to finance, they are a little bit on back foot, and then they give the torch to a man in their family. So that should not be the case, because I have seen the startup ecosystem in India as well as overseas. Over there, the women are more confident on the financial front. So they take their own decisions. Maybe their family culture is supportive in that way, but in our culture, little bit women are little bit more less confident on the financial front. So they should be more confident. And I have daughter, so I make sure that she is financially literate and she will be confident in the financial journey. So whoever men sitting in this room, I request everyone that they have daughter, sister, anybody, just help them to make the financial literacy and make them confident in the financial decisions. So that's the main challenge we observe.
And do invite your daughter to show her your startup idea regularly and make a pitch to you. Yeah, that would be the best thing that you can do for yourself and for her, because you can invest in one of her businesses in the future. So, yeah.
So I think very interesting. Before we wrap up, I have one last question to all of you. I'm going to be making it very personal. So what, according to you, comes to your mind when I say the word risk? One word for that. Anyone?
Calculated.
Okay.
Appetite.
Reward.
You reach nowhere if you don't take risk. I mean, it is not one word, but one sentence.
Alright. So let's give it to
Take risk as much as you can in everything.
I don't have an option anyway, right? Wonderful. So I think, the reason why we chose this topic was to give a very diverse perspective. And I think, thank you to all the four of you. I think I've enjoyed this panel as much as I thought creating this question, and then I figured out that I think being an impromptu risk taker is far better than being an impromptu moderator as well. So thank you so much. Before we wrap this panel, can we take one or two questions? Would that be a great idea, right? Do we have a time, Madam? With your permission? Fantastic. 2 questions. Yes, sir.
I'm also into consulting, and it's my observation that many of the women entrepreneurs don't succeed to the extent they should succeed because they give more importance to their emotional quotient than business quotient. So your take on this?
I can't think of a specific example, so maybe I cannot relate to that. Are you meaning that there is too much of family? Is that what you're saying, that they're pulled down by family? So I don't know what you mean by emotional, actually, like...
See, at times when you're taking business decisions, they also think it from an emotional background.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
know,
why they
okay.
get pulled down.
That so it has probably something to do with the fact that there are very few. See, when there are very few role models. So if your role model is your mother and grandmother, and not enough women in the ecosystem, then probably these situations may happen because we don't have. So when I said that in 100 there are only 10 and 15 women, then, and she said, there are no mentors for women, then probably, but I can't think of specific examples from the women I know, so I don't know. I'm sure Jhelam is taking decisions in a very rational and empowered way. So
I think emotional quotient, nowadays there are books written, emotional quotient is more important than your IQ. So it's not bad at all.
It's a good thing.
It is good thing, and I think women are more successful because they combine IQ and EQ together.
To add to that, it also depends on your environment and the upbringing and a lot of things for women, So coming from an environment where since I was a kid, I took all my own decisions. It was easy for me to take decisions, keeping, lot of emotions, aside. However, if I have to look at how well I am working with my team, I feel that somewhere that EQ is really helping. Because your team is connected to you and they are over-delivering at times just because they respect you as a human as well. So it depends. It is not. I've seen men also taking very bad decisions. Trust me on that. And it totally depends. It has nothing to do with women. In fact, the whole idea of women entrepreneurs is a stupid thing to talk about. Entrepreneur is an entrepreneur. There's nothing to do with women or men entrepreneurs. The challenger is saying you need funding, you need good team, you need good idea, you need good audience, you need good market. It's the same thing. Where is the difference?
You should not categorize that women and women like that. And as I mentioned, that emotional intelligence is more important nowadays, and your human energy is associated with the emotions. So the quality of energy improves, your emotions are good. So that's a
So my question to you now, since you mentioned about entrepreneurship, right? Let me ask you a question. I'll come to one more question. Why do we talk about empowerment? We should not.
I don't talk about it ever. I always feel that, Suhasini ma'am talked about that being the only woman always worked very well for me, wherever I was. It always, because people call it out of respect, whatever, I always got the first opportunity to do things. So it totally depends on us. How are we taking it? It totally depends on how action-oriented are you. Simple example, why would men don't feel guilty when they leave kids at home and go to work? Why would women feel guilty? It is what we have developed in ourselves. We have to build an ecosystem for ourselves in a way that it should be equal sharing of work or whatever, and then take it ahead from there. I've built that in my house. Every woman should do that in their house. Okay, we have been the few ones who had to, maybe push forward. Like, if I look back, people used to call me aggressive woman. From there, I've reached to boss lady. So there's a difference, So I hope I've answered your question.
So I'll say that we talk about empowerment because there are examples of specific discrimination, which is what the thing is. I don't talk about empowerment because in my life I haven't faced it, but I cannot be insensitive to the fact that this exists. Take a look at our media. Take a look at the women on our TV serials. It's been going on for 30 years. You women are going out and doing this amazing, she did this social enterprise, some of you are going to be doing, startups in AI, and what is going on the TV? What is going on? They're fighting about kaun sa upas karna hai. And it's been 30 years we have not protested this. This is the image which we are passing on to young girls, and that is actually discriminatory. So as long as those things are there, there is a need to talk about empowerment. When those things disappear, when people are educated in the same way, when people are given the same opportunity. What I said about putting aside money for a girl's family, you will not believe it, it's not true where we are sitting, but in this time we are almost in 2023 and dowry is still a thing. And I know personally families where dowry is still a thing, where I have heard people saying ki we have to put aside 20 lakh rupees for a girl's wedding. And I said, if your daughter has 20 lakh rupees, why does she need a husband? So the thing is that when we talk about empowerment, as long as those things are there. When they are gone, we don't need to talk about empowerment.
We should talk about men empowerment now.
I have just one thought. When it is men or women, if you are not empowered, you are not entrepreneur. Entrepreneur has to be motivated and self-motivated and self-empowered all the time. Otherwise, business will not grow. Business will not happen probably. So, yes, there are examples. There is India and there is Bharat. And stories from Bharat are different and stories from India are different. As long as we are self-empowered, and this is for all women sitting here, we should stop using this word. You are empowered in all sense. And when that sense comes to your mind without barriers, because everything comes from our head and our environment, of course. But, I think in few years this is going to change. All women will be empowered.
We'll take one last question, please.
माझं नाव आहे डॉक्टर लिदा बोरा. मी गेली 4 वर्षापासून बिझनेस टाईममध्ये येत आहे, म्हणजे स्टार्टअपमध्ये आहे. मी तंबाखूला पर्याय बनवलेला आहे. कारण तंबाखू जे टोबॅको आपण आता खात आहेत, लोक काही सिगारेट होतात, काही गुटखा खात आहेत, तर या तंबाखू आणि तंबाखूजन्य प्रोडक्टमुळे होणाऱ्या नुकसानाचा अभ्यास केल्यानंतर आपण तंबाखूला पर्याय शोधून काढला, त्याचं पेटेंटही केलं. त्यानंतर आता मी ते सोशल इकॉनॉमिक प्रोजेक्ट म्हणून आपण लॉन्च करतोय. तर त्यामध्ये आम्ही करत असताना आत्ताही जे म्हणतात फॅमिलीचा सपोर्ट काही फॅमिली अजूनही अशा आहेत की त्यांना आपल्याला ते नाकारता येत नाही. त्याच्यातनं मी स्वतः केलेली आहे आणि अजूनही राहते आहे. पण इफ यू हॅव कॉन्फिडंट अबाउट युअर वर्क, देन नो वन कॅन चेंज युअर लाईफ. Support this one, so I tell here.
Thank you so much. I think it's wonderful.
One thing, the way discussions going on here, I think in 2030, when we do this program, there will be 3 men sitting and 1 woman.
So I think it's I'm getting a red signal, green signal, yellow signal, all signals here. But it's been a very, very invigorating conversations. Thank you so much. I'm really honored to moderate this and drive this panel. And thank you so much, PCSIC, Madam, for giving us this opportunity. With that, I think we will wrap this up, and over to you, Madam.
The entire house is on fire. सर ये 45 मिनट्स कब निकल गए समझ में भी नहीं आया. They are so intelligent and I think it was so overwhelming and interesting session with 3 strong women sharing stage with true men. और आपकी बोलती बंद कर दी. I was feeling so sad for Uday sir. Sorry to say. मैं बस आपकी expression देख रही थी. So yes, These strong iron will ladies are not only influential enterprises but extremely intelligent with their thought processes, and I believe they must have influenced you in certain way. And the bottom line is, not only intelligent, they are beautiful soul, and this is how I want to convey my message. And now it's the privilege, it's the time to honor them. I request Mr. Kiran Vaidya sir, please join us, the third man in the category who was the silent listener. That says it all. Sashtang Dandavat kar diya. This was the super hit session of this entire day, I believe. Yes, we are going to felicitate Ms. Zelan Chobal ma'am, Director of Kesri. Yes, ma'am. Please accept your honor. We are so humble and privileged that you have really taken out time. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, ma'am. Thank you. Now we are going to felicitate Suhasini ma'am. Co-founder, Mark Access Consulting. We will not forget you, ma'am. I mean, blazer पहनने के बाद मुझे आपका epic sentence याद में आएगा. All right. So here we go. We are felicitating Lavina ma'am here, founder of Rent and Attire. Thank you so very much. Really, it was really a wonderful session. Thank you. We had a great time. Thank you. We will have one group photograph and then we'll disperse. It's the time where we are going to move ahead with the workshop on product innovation by Shruti Shipper. UX Fest. There's a mic issue. I think battery is gone. Anybody help me with that? Yes, I'm going to invite Shruti on the stage here.
Yeah, before we move to this, very interesting workshop on product innovation, I think most of the startups or entrepreneurs who want to, be a part of it must attend this on how product innovation is done, right? So Shruti, thank you so much for joining us and supporting this. Before we start this workshop, quick announcement. We have a pitch session by the startups to the investor panel, right? I would request SmartBiz, DAP World, Colcom Technologies, Docco, Theka, Trimton, Quezil Life and Silver Track to join us on the first floor at the ballroom. Yeah, so there's a conference room on the first floor as you enter from the other side, right? So please join me there for the pitch session.
There's a session on innovation. So your business always gets stagnant at one point of time and you are like, there's a pitch dark situation in your pathways where you are lost because you don't know how to innovate your business, though it is bringing back numbers. So here we have the expert on board, Ms. Shruti Shipper, UX faculty Imagine XP. To talk more about her, she is a certified UX design and design thinking educator at Imagine XP. She is a multidisciplinary design professional specializing in the field of communication design and UX design. I believe I request each one of you to kindly, just come ahead, because we are dividing these sessions in two parts. So half the crowd has gone for the pitch presentation, and of course I'm seeing a few people who are sitting behind. Please join us here so that it will be easy for Shruti to communicate with each one of you, because it's a workshop. Okay, so this is going to be very interesting session. And yes, Shruti, please join us on the stage. Let's give her a big hand and let's see how she brings innovation to this session. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So it's good that this is the number so that we can actually do some activity and we can actually do something. So this is not a presentation, this is a workshop. And first of all, I'm so honored. I've never been a part of such a big stage, so it's very overwhelming. But I want to give high value to everybody who is present for this workshop. So before we begin, everybody over here is, they have achieved a lot in their lives, and I believe they will also be contributing to this session. I would request everybody to come forward because I would be asking you guys to help me out. I would be needing volunteers for the same.
See, this is going to be interaction. You come workshop session, so it would be really better if you join back. Please, whoever sitting at back, I request please join us here. So it's very easy for Shruti to conduct this workshop, and this is based on innovations. And of course, it will be very easy if you throw questions to her, so she will be in a position to answer back. So thank you so much. Over to you.
Yeah. So before we begin, this whole entire thing is on product innovation. I'm sure you must have some sort of idea what product innovation is, right? So let me throw this question to the audience first. I want to understand your perspective of what product innovation is. Anybody who has a fair knowledge, or maybe let's forget about fair knowledge, what is your take on product innovation? Anybody? Anyone? Yes.
Like observing the flaws in the current product, in a current category, and innovating that flaws. And that flaws can be used as our USP.
Right.
And a new product can be developed. And
right.
a new brand can emerge through that. Yeah.
Absolutely correct. That is a part of product innovation for sure. Anybody else who would like to say anything on product innovation? Yes, please go ahead.
I think I'll also try to be a part of it. It's gonna be a very interesting session. I'm going to help Shruti for that. So I think any novelty in your product is innovation, because with the changing scenario, you always want new and more to it. So of course a product has limitations, but then in terms of design or some change in taste or something, rather product वही होना चाहिए, but packaging हर time change होना चाहिए. So probably that is innovation for me. Yes, you wanted to answer, right? Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, please.
So what I think is if something is working, it's in sort of good condition, everything is okay, but still it can be improved.
For sure.
Yeah. And like for example, now this is an iPhone 14, it's going to be 15 now.
Yeah.
Even if they make a minor change, I know a lot of people are going to buy it. Anyways, so it's sort of depend on, I think, brand as well. That's what my take on it is. So.
Okay, okay, alright, for sure. So we'll move on to what actually product innovation is. Thank you so much for being so reciprocative, because I want it to be like that. Thank you so much. So this is, a simple definition of what product innovation is. Okay, it could mean to create a completely new product, or it could mean to get a more improved product. If you have an existing product and you've come up with the idea that this is there is a scope of massive improvement, or maybe if one aspect is changed, maybe this could work better for the market or for our user segment. That also is product innovation. Now this is a process, and it's a very iterative process. So it is not something which you do and it ends there. It is something which has to be done in a very cyclic manner, alright? So we'll move ahead. So I am a UX faculty at Imagine XP and has anybody heard of the term design thinking?
Yes.
Yes, please go ahead, ma'am. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Kiran, and I know this term because I've been doing content writing for 2-3 years now.
Right.
And what design thinking is, from my perspective, is basically thinking from the perspective of the user. It's
Right.
design thinking.
Right.
That's
Right. It's a very user-centric, creative problem-solving process, and it is something which a lot of companies across the world they're using this methodology to come up with creative solutions for any problem in any domain. This particular process, the 5D process that I'm going to impart to you guys, is going to help you come up with a solution which is going to help you in product innovation. This methodology is based on design thinking as a concept, as a philosophy, and this can help you in coming up with a new product altogether, working on a problem statement, or finding solutions to some problems that you've encountered in your existing product. Okay, so this is the 5D process, because from the the morning session, and then we had some other sessions today, we've been listening to terms like problem statement, user segmentation, USP, design differentiators. Now these are very heavy terms, right? And बोल दिया कि you have to have a design differentiator, you have to find a user base. How do you do that? That is what this session is going to be about, okay? So my presentation is, I think, just like 8-9 slides. It's you who is going to do the work, because it's a workshop. So let's move ahead. So as I told you, design thinking is an ideology, it's a process, and that is what the 5D process is based on. So let's move ahead with this. Yeah, perfect. So I have some problems with me, okay? We are going to work through this entire process with the problems that I have. So I want some of you wonderful people sitting in front of me to volunteer, and we can have like 2 groups of 3 people on the stage to help me with this. Please, you're here, this is high value, imparting. Please come, please. Yes, please. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Come. Just a little introduction of you, the audience, and then we can start.
My name is Chinmay Chandra. I'm from Pune itself, and I'm currently working on 2 of my projects. One is in education sector and one is in finance sector, to revolutionize education, a big gap in between. So yeah, that's what I'm.
So my name is Krishna. Currently I'm working in an IT company in sales.
My name is Namrita Rakshay. I am an architect by profession. So basically this session is going to be very useful and like thought-provoking for me. Yeah.
Hello everyone, this is Abhay Khedkar. I am a founder of Immersion Sphere. It is a AR/VR related company which deals with the market as a marketing tool for the architecture and interior designing firms.
Hello everyone, this is Sanket Sonar from ECLRS COE. We are a student-run organization and an entrepreneurship cell. I am currently working on 2 projects, which is one of the projects which I have done in Swachh Savrakshan 2022, which was a hackathon organized by PCSIC itself. And second is Manthan, which is a national hackathon, wherein I am working on anomaly detection, wherein 13 different types of anomalies will be detected by my model.
Hello everyone, my name is Vinayak Singh and I'm a freelancer. Yes.
Hello, myself Ajinkya. I'm co-founder at Brown Mobile Energy Solutions Private Limited. We are into electrical transportation vehicle design.
areas. So this is going to be a guided thing. Just choose one. No, just one. Redesign the water bottle. Where is the mic? So we have our first team. We have our first team and they are going to work on redesigning a water bottle. Okay? And we have the other team and they are going to work on find effective solutions for time management. Okay? So friends, don't be afraid. I am going to take you step by step how to achieve to the solutions. We have some chart papers. I would require help. So I would want 2 chart papers to be given to the first team and 2 chart papers to be given to this team. The chart papers are there. You can have a seat. Okay, we have a short enough seats. Okay, no problem. Alright, so over onto the screen, I'll just brief you what we have to do. So the first stage over here is the discover stage. Okay, which is the first aspect of the 5D process. And here what we have to do is, we have to explore the problem. So you have one problem with you. So clearly you don't have a problem as such, but you can find out a problem. Okay? And then what we do is, we do a bit of secondary and primary research. So for those who don't know what secondary and primary research is something which we try to get insights from all the sources which are available to us. So maybe research papers, maybe facts which are already there, maybe some books written on the same topic. Okay, that is a very important aspect of this part. And then we also do primary research, which is we get real-time currently. So we get a lot of quantitative and qualitative insights on the problem that we are working on. So for now, primary research might be a little difficult. Maybe you can ask anybody, because your target group is almost all of us. We all use bottles to drink water. In fact, for you guys also, time management, primary research, we all are primary stakeholders for you guys. Okay, so that works for us, great. And then what you will do is, you will do a short stakeholder mapping. So anybody whom you consider a stakeholder in that problem area, you will mention. Anybody who you feel is a stakeholder. Okay? And who are your possible competitors?
Stakeholder, you mean like someone who faces this problem?
Anybody who has a stake in that entire problem. It may also, anybody who faces the problem is also one of the stakeholders. Cool? Yeah? So we'll start with the discover stage. I'll give you about 15 minutes for this. So we'll give 15 for the first 4 stages. That's because I don't know, maybe this can be, I don't know the time. So maybe like make it as short as possible. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Cool? We'll start. Anybody who wants to help them, they can come and help them. Alright? Start guys, start. So you can ask their inputs. प्राइमरी रिसर्च के इंसाइट्स आप इनसे ले सकते हैं, ऑडियंस से.
First to know what problems do you find in a water bottle, okay? I just want to have an open perspective because बहुत हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है basically, we don't know.
I have a concern with water.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. No, I'll just speak. I can speak loud. Yeah. So my problem is my water bottle takes a lot of space in my bag. So the kind of solution I'm looking for, can I fold it after I finish my water? So any solution, it's actually occupying a lot of space in my bag. I just can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like
Just a minute.
Should be handy and folded.
Second one.
Like currently I found that there is some microplastic issue with the plastic bottle.
Sorry?
There is a microplastic issue with the water bottles. Like the plastic bottle that we use, they just give out some amount of plastic in the water.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is now the option is steel bottle and the copper bottles. Yeah, but they are heavy.
And they are also not affordable.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else?
Yeah, so the metal bottles, as you said, the insulated bottle I want. And I see the insulated bottles are very big. Okay.
The volume they contain is less, but the space they occupy is more. Okay, so I want a bottle which can carry a maximum amount, good amount of water and doesn't take much space and is lighter. Okay, insulated bottle, a metal one, not a plastic one.
My concern is like if you are designing from the scratch, can you take into account that the recycling should be easy, or anything on the plastic side?
Okay, I think we have done. Anything else? Cool. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you.
How many of you are already in startups?
Can you be little loud?
How many of you are already into startups or you had tried it? What difficulties did you face while managing your time? Like what do you think that this should be good or on time this work should be done, or anyone is there?
Like in case of time, I don't understand how to prioritize what to do first.
Okay. Sir?
I have a lot of ideas and I get
carried away by the ideas and don't focus on my thought process gets spread out. It's not at one idea. So that is what I feel, and I waste time due to that.
Okay, means
लिस्ट आउट जो भी आपके आइडियाज है वो पहले लिस्ट आउट करेंगे और देन उसके ऊपर एग्जीक्यूट करेंगे.
Yes, according to priorities.
Ideas only.
Ideas and then go deep into that and then I guess
To-do list.
I have an
what to do and what to not, what to do first, like prioritize, no, your whole time. Yeah. That's what we're talking.
Yeah, sir, I also have insight. My insight is this: if I have a timetable, so that actually makes me feel limited, restricted. So I cannot follow a timetable. That is a problem with me. So how do I solve my time management?
Thank you.
मतलब टाइम टेबल से बट टाइम टेबल्स फॉलो नहीं किए जाते हैं.
Yes. मुझे लगता है मैं फंस गई हूँ कि ऐसे ही करना पड़ेगा, ये तो मैं स्टक हो गई.
फ्लेक्सिबल नहीं है.
Yes.
Anybody, any one of you, or maybe all of you, can start explaining what you have done with respect to your topic. So their topic was find effective solutions for time management. They have done the first aspect, which is the discover part, where we are trying to explore the problem.
What do you mean by exactly explore the problem?
Explore, until unless we try and understand the problem, we are not going to find possible solutions for it. Now, how do we understand? We conduct a research. So that is what is exploring the problem. We'll be able to empathize with our possible user segment better when we do a in-depth research and understand who the stakeholders are, why are they facing the problem, what is the current situation, what are their inputs in terms of the problem which they are facing. So that is, we are trying to make friends with the problem, maybe. So that is what we are exploring the problem.
But what is the statement they have? The problem statement they have?
So it's not a problem statement, it's just a theme for them. Problem statement they will start with in the define stage. Okay? So it's basically time management is a big issue these days. So they're trying to work for a possible solution in that regard. Right? So could you please explain what you have done?
So as there are 4 parts, like we have divided like in 4 parts. Who are the stakeholders, primary and secondary research, and the competitors. The currently जो अभी solution provide कर रहे हैं. तो stakeholders में वो है students, time management किसको करनी चाहिए या किसको ज़रूरत होगी उनकी. The ones are students, another is business people, कुछ employees होंगे उनको personal या work के काम में उनको time manage करना होगा. ये होगा individual level पे. Organizational level पे MNCs हो गए, startups हो गए और NGOs हो गए. तो वो लोग जो एक छोटे ग्रुप या बड़े ग्रुप में काम करते हैं. तो बेसिकली उनके 2 पार्ट हैं, इंडिविजुअल्स एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. तो प्राइमरी रिसर्च टाइम मैनेज आपको करना है तो उसके प्राइमरी रिसर्च क्या उसके प्राइमरी रिसर्च उसमें रिसर्च हमने ये की कि अभी हम टाइम टेबल जो प्राइमरी रिसर्च हम उसका मतलब ये था कि जो करंट यूजर्स जो है उनको क्या क्या डिफिकल्टीज फेस हो रही है टाइम मैनेजमेंट रिलेटेड. So, जैसे कि मैम ने बोला था कि टाइम टेबल उनको रिस्ट्रिक्टेड फील करवाता है क्योंकि दे फील कि उनको उतना ही काम उतने टाइम में करना पड़ेगा. सो विच इज नॉट फ्लेक्सिबल. उसके बाद में लेस आउटपुट फ्रॉम इन्वेस्टेड टाइम. हम जितना भी टाइम एक चीज को करने में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो उसमें से फिजिकल आउटकम कुछ आ नहीं रहा है एज कम्पेयर टू हम ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे हैं. और उसमें से ये भी एक था कि जो भी हम काम कर रहे हैं वो मॉनिटर नहीं किया जा रहा है. इफ वी आर अलोकेटिंग 1 hour टू डू अ स्पेसिफिक वर्क तो वो 1 hour के कभी-कभी ज्यादा टाइम हम वही काम करते रहते हैं. द सेकेंडरी रिसर्च वाज लाइक कि अभी ऐसे कौन सी चीज है कि जहाँ पे हमको ये हेल्प मिलती है कि जिनको पढ़ के हम वो काम जो हमको टाइम मैनेजमेंट में हेल्प कर सकते हैं. तो अभी टाइम टेबल्स करंट ऑप्शंस है, मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन है कुछ जिनको हम यूज करके हम टाइम मैनेज कर सकते हैं. पोमोडोरो टेक्निक या स्क्रम टेक्निक्स जो अभी बड़े ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और पर्सनल लेवल पे भी जो यूज करते हैं उनकी हेल्प ले सकते हैं टाइम मैनेज करने के लिए. सिमिलरली अभी टाइम मैनेज जो कर रहे हैं हम तो उसके लिए कंपटीटर्स क्या हो सकते हैं. तो फिजिकल जर्नल्स कुछ लोग यूज करते हैं जो टाइम मैनेजमेंट करने के लिए कंपटीटर्स हैं. कुछ एप्लीकेशंस है जैसे कि गूगल कैलेंडर्स हो गया या टू डू लिस्ट हो गया। उसके बाद में कुछ सेल्फ हेल्प बुक्स है जिससे हम टाइम मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर नॉलेज गेन कर सकते हैं, कुछ यूट्यूब वीडियोस और सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स। तो ये सब चीज़ें कि ये है 4 सेक्टर में हमने अभी कैटेगराइज किया है हमारे डिस्कवर स्टेज को। यस, थैंक यू।
Thank you so much. Very well done. Anybody who wants to add on to anything here? Yes.
Stakeholders part, I think in organizations part, the latter one.
Yeah.
You can also add government.
Government. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely add. Yes.
One more thing.
Yes.
You mentioned about primary and secondary research. So what? Like, can you clarify what is it actually?
Yeah. So secondary research is, suppose I have something in mind. Okay. Maybe there is an issue which I know that it exists, but it could be my personal perception, right? So what I do is, how I start with it is, I start reading about it. So generally we do web research, we read journals, we do refer some research papers. We see anybody who else who has already done some similar work on this in this field, right? So all this information already exists. So my research is secondary research. Now, of course, they will all be a very valid source of information that I'm referring to, even when I'm taking my secondary insights. But then, to understand the current scenario, the current perspective, and to get to empathize with my possible user group better, I'll have to get real-time insights. And that is where primary research takes place. Now, there are multiple tools to do this. You can take in-depth interviews, okay? There is another methodology which is called as ethnographic research. So sometimes the researcher or somebody who is working on a problem statement, they go and stay and be there in the field with the people who are actually using the product or wherever they are facing the problem, and they observe and maybe take contextual interviews and get some qualitative insights. Okay, so that also is very, very crucial to understand our user and maybe get to know the real problem, because me sitting on a desktop and looking at the problem at a different perspective could not lead me to what the user actually needs or what his perception or her perception is, right? Because we need to empathize with our user, and empathy starts with getting to know somebody better. And that is only possible with proper secondary and primary research, which is, these are such crucial aspects which a lot of us in a lot of organizations we don't do, and that is why things don't fall in place, because we don't have proper insights. So to get proper data, we start with insights and then we build upon the product. So that is this whole process completely based on. So I hope it's clear now what secondary and primary research is. Any other doubts in this regard?
Second one, you said empathize and you stay there.
That is another ethnographic research. Field study, are you talking about field study?
Surveys.
Survey is a quantitative tool to take quantitative insights. This is a more qualitative. So when I say qualitative, it means which has got nothing to do with numbers. So you're studying people's emotions, you're studying their feelings, you're looking at the context of use. Now when we take surveys, what am I feeling, what are my emotions, that kinds of takes a backseat. I can take 100 people's surveys, but I won't get qualitative insights. So for that I have to do a certain field study. I have to see the context of use, I have to do an ethnographic study, right? Yes, I hope it was a little clear to you guys, yeah? Cool. We'll move on to the define stage now. I'm coming back to you guys. Before you continue with that, I would request you to listen to that, then you can start, right? So now that you know a fair amount of the existing situation for your theme, for your whatever you've chosen that chit, you'll be able to understand and define the problem in one statement, probably, Okay, so you have some insights that you received from the audience. Cool. This is where you define the problem statement. From all these insights that you've got, you will be easily able to define a problem statement. Okay, and maybe understand possible needs of the users in terms of the usage, their pain points. A lot of pain points were listed in from the audience right now. Okay, and maybe try. So how we generally do is we also, so here it is mentioned scenarios. So what are scenarios? They are those hypothetical situations in which the ideal user would use the product. So this also we think beforehand, maybe, of course, they're based off all the insights that we've done from secondary and primary research. But until unless we understand the context of use, we cannot innovate better, we cannot serve the user better, right? So we create some hypothetical situations in which possibly the user uses this particular product. So that is scenario. Sometimes people also make it more visual and convert it into a storyboard. So for example, I am pitching to a investor and I am talking about a problem statement and I am talking about a context of use. But if I have a storyboard which is very visual, they'll be able to understand the context of use of the product, right? So right now, of course, I don't expect you guys to draw, or maybe you might be good at drawing or sketching, but I am not going to go through, take you through that pain, right? Right? So what we'll do is you just define the problem statement and maybe some pain points and needs of the user. That is all you have to do right now. Cool? Yeah. With that, we'll move on to the second group. Take the mic.
So our what we are going to discover is redesigning a water bottle. I need to. Okay. So defining the problems first. What are the problems that we face while using a water bottle? So one thing is, like, we took some points from the audience also. So the points we got from the audience are that sometimes the water bottles are not very easy to carry, or while commuting, water bottles take a lot of space in the bag. So how it can be made more compact in design itself. Then the weight of the water bottle, like Sir said, that insulation, with some less weight, because in steel bottles usually the weight of the bottle is more. And other problems are like materials. So plastic water bottles are produced a lot in the market right now. So we are not focusing on plastic materials. Rather, we are trying to come up with some new material, or the steel could be a better choice, or any other metal. Yeah, sustainable. So the stakeholders that we are looking are, first of all, we are not going to design the water bottles which Bisleri or other companies, these are recyclable water bottles. So we are focusing on the water bottles that we will be using for a long period of time. So stakeholders in our case are commuters or sportsmen or gym, people who go to gym they are very used to going for such activities. So the age group we are going to define here is from 18 to 60. So this is the age group where the specific design of the bottle can be considered throughout this age group. The design will be same, and our competitors here are Tupperware and Milton. So yeah, that's it.
So you can start with the define stage. You will define the problem statement. So the problem in just one statement. Okay. Just by reading a statement, I should be able to know what is the problem, who is facing it. These two aspects should be in one problem statement. Yeah. Actually, defining the problem statement is the most challenging part, right? Yeah, it is. It is. I agree to that. But for you guys, let's take two statements. I'll give you two sentences in food delivery apps. That could be one problem statement. So who is facing the problem? What is the problem?
You're not quantifying it.
No, we're not. Maybe in a situation, in a particular problem area, there can be a scenario where the problem statement is quantified. Maybe. But right now, it doesn't make sense here.
Is it the mission of the company?
Sorry?
Will you derive the mission of the company from this?
No, we are only working on product innovation here. That's it. So that comes at a very later stage when we define the value proposition, we define the business objectives. Here we are just working on product innovation. Figure it out, maybe. You kind of figured it out actually, yes. So you will be able to relate to this. So any kind of user research for any product, these are the main aspects to be focused on, okay? First is the goal. Why are we doing this research? What are we hoping to achieve? This should be very clear in the very first place. Because if this is not clear, then the whole process is going to be skewed, okay? Secondly is ask the right questions. Be very specific to whatever questions you're asking to your users. Because based on their insights, you're going to have changes in your product or maybe come up with solutions for your product, right? And then what methods are going to you are going to use. So maybe you can use a survey, or maybe if the number is really large, let's say, you'll have to have a survey, right? But if it's like you're finding a solution to a limited number of people, then you can have one-on-one interviews for a deeper insight, maybe. Right? You can also have focus groups. There's something called as focus group. It's not exactly like a debate or a declamation or any heated, argumented situation. It's just where few people, maybe 4 or 5 people, they're just going to talk about a certain perspective on a certain product, and you receive different viewpoints. That's it. So that's a focus group. And then who are these people whom you're interested in? So that should be very clear. Whom are you focusing on? What are those user profiles that you're focusing on? Yeah? We'll move on to the next slide, please.
Just a second.
Yeah, please. Anybody feel free to take screenshots. ऐसा इतना कुछ है नहीं ऐसे. Methods. Method is the methodology, the tools. So like surveys, focus groups, personal interviews, field research, ethnographic research, as I mentioned. These are some of the methods to retrieve information from your. Yeah. So generally in research methodology, we use methods as tools. Okay. So method is any way in which you try to achieve something, right? It's a process. So that is what we are trying to say. It could be confusing for a layman or any person who is not from the research background. That's why I'm here to help you answer that question. I hope it's clear now. Yeah? Cool. Can we move on to the next slide? Great. You have a certain user base that you have in mind, right? Clearly. Now, you'll have to segment it. Can we have the next slide, please? 18 to 16. 18 to 16, एक सेकंड इधर आ जाइए. हाँ, 18 to 16 years के जो लोग हैं, वो इनका user base इन्होंने define किया है, ठीक है? अब उसमें there can be a diverse amount of people. तो हम उसको age wise, working profile wise, demographic. So इनके जो pain points होंगे, इनके जो needs होंगे, वो अलग-अलग हो सकते हैं, right? So that is what is user segmentation. And we do this on the basis of demographics, as I just told you, maybe on the basis of age, gender, location, income, purchasing power अलग हो सकती है. Absolutely correct, wonderful. Then psychographic, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि maybe because of some educational background लोगों की needs बदल जाती हैं, ठीक है? टेक्नोलॉजी से कितना ओरिएंटेशन है उसके बेसिस पे भी लोगों के नीड्स और पेन पॉइंट्स बदलते हैं, ठीक है। बाइंग बिहेवियर, जैसे मैंने आपको बोला, कई लोगों की आदत होती है बहुत ज़्यादा परचेजिंग करने की, मे बी टू बाय अ लॉट ऑफ स्टफ, मे बी समटाइम्स पीपल डोंट बाय मच, राइट। देन यू हैव नॉलेज लेवल, and you can also segment them on the basis of how oriented are they towards technology, or how familiar are they with mobiles or devices or technology in general, right? So you can just segment your user base now. Yeah, maybe on the age group, their work profile, or some sort of psychographic aspect. Whatever works in your case. So if yeah, right. So if in your case, segmenting the user group age-wise, yeah, yeah, would work, totally work. So they have done their user segmentation. Imagine that there's a lot of this is your
So we broadly categorize this into two. First, entity is individual, organization wise. So individually we have divided them into demographics, like first is age, which is 10 to 22. Basically this age students are there. Then 23 to 55, which are working professionals. After that, no time is required. Then location wise, urban, non-urban, because urban scenario, people faces problem like traffic there, or other distance, lot of distance sometimes they have to cover. And non-urban, opposite of that. Then technology orientation, so some people use more technology driven, like they can incorporate this through mobile or laptop. Some people are more physical, like journals and timetables, physical timetables. Then occupation wise, same again, student and employee. We have again categorized this student and employee because there are some further categorization in this segment, like working professionals. Some are remotely working. So if employees are remotely working, they face different set of distractions, like in their home. And those who are working through office, they face different set of distractions. Then psychographic, lazy. Some people are lazy, like me. And then in entity organizations, we have divided organization into two: government and non-government. So non-government, so organization can further be subdivided like small, medium, and large. They may have different set of their priorities. So that's all. Thank you all.
Yeah, so now we have the second group with their with their segmentation. Yes.
Yes. So our objective was athletes and sportsmen facing problems due to bulky and unsustainable materials. So generally we know, like currently we face the problem that we don't have unsustainable materials, but when we go to gym or when we are running or physical activities, we don't have like we carry bulky bottles because we need more water that time. So we were thinking how we could solve that problem. Plus, we were thinking how we can how we can design some bottle which can even motivate, like can we have some motivational quotes on the bottles, or we know like gym personals they need protein powders to carry, so how we can make it more, so how we can like instill that also in that same bottle. So that was our objectives, and our demographic was like we were targeting, our main target was 18 to 50 years of age for athletes, and yes, any gender. Psycho, psychographics like lifestyle, active and fitness. So currently we are trying to design a water bottle for athletes and gym personals. Active water bottles where can have something which can motivate them, as well as they can carry more water without feeling the bulk of the weight, and as with the same they can have like yes, incorporate compactness at the same time.
Generally what happens is we don't take this big of a age group, so you can have like two, because maybe the need for somebody who is in their like late teens or early 20s might differ from somebody who's in their prime 20s or late 30s. So that's a very huge group that you're looking for. So maybe 18 to let's say 30, and then 31 to 45, and then 45 plus. So three age groups could be looked at over here. Yeah, just a feedback, right? And then psychographic mein you have on the basis of lifestyle. So what is their lifestyle, whether it's sedentary lifestyle or active lifestyle, or so two groups could be made over here: active lifestyle and sedentary lifestyle. So that works. Now both the groups have another chart paper, and you have your this thing, your post-its, right? So you will start ideation now. Start working on the solutions. Could we have the next slide? Yes. या फिर आप नया solution भी ला सकते हैं. हर एक post-it पे एक solution होगा. What we do is brainstorm. Now, so brainstorming is technique for, जैसे अभी आपको जरूरत पड़ेगी brainstorming, क्योंकि जहाँ पर आपका दिमाग काम करना बंद हो जाता है तब हमें brainstorming की जरूरत पड़ती है, and it helps you to visualize ideas, it helps you to ideate ideas. So I'm going to give you a timer of 10 minutes, exactly 10 minutes, okay? You have to, without thinking whether this is going to work or this is not going to work, you are just going to write a possible solution, whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. No, just a statement on one post-it and paste it on chart paper. Just an idea about a proper solution for this problem area. No. Whatever you think is could be a solution to your problem, you write it down on one post-it and you put it on the chart paper. Take out any 5 which you think we should carry forward. Any 5. Okay? We'll go forward with any 5. Jaldi. Coming up with possible solutions, right? Whatever problem we're catering to. Now, it's very important for us to understand what journey does a user undertakes in terms of context of use of the product. Right in the starting, we were talking about in what scenario the user is going to use the product, right? So here is an example of a retail customer journey. So उसकी entire journey हमने कुछ phases में divide कर दी, ठीक है? पहला phase था, let's say need to purchase, ठीक है, उसमें उसके क्या क्या थॉट प्रोसेस होगा कि आई नीड टू मेक अ परचेज, इट वाज डिफिकल्ट टू कंपेयर ऑप्शंस ऑन माय फोन. तो हर स्टेज पे आप उनके नीड्स और पेन पॉइंट्स लिस्ट करते रहोगे एंड पॉसिबल टच पॉइंट्स, मे बी एनी काइंड ऑफ डिजिटल टच पॉइंट, एनी काइंड ऑफ फिजिकल टच पॉइंट, राइट. क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स वो फेस करते हैं हर स्टेज पे, ये समझना आपको बहुत जरूरी है, तभी तो आप पूरी जर्नी सीमलेस कर पाओगे. क्योंकि एक प्रोडक्ट सिर्फ प्रोडक्ट नहीं होता है, उसकी जर्नी बहुत पहले से शुरू हो जाती है. सो इफ टू कंपनीज आर गिविंग द सेम प्रोडक्ट but the customer service is bad for one product and the customer service is good for another, the quality of the product is same, which one is the one which you're going to prefer? The one with a better customer service, right. That is why we need to make sure that the entire journey is mapped. Okay, next probably would be research options on my phone. Next क्या करेगा वो, अपने options देखेगा phone, ठीक है. उसके बाद go to the store, वहां पर उसको क्या समझ में आता है. लेट्स से ये सब हाइपोथेटिकल मैंने यहाँ पे डाला है. द स्टोर वाज प्लेजेंट टू विजिट, सो मे बी इट फेल्ट बेटर टू गो टू अ फिजिकल स्टोर एंड लुक फॉर ऑप्शंस. देन द नेक्स्ट पार्ट वाज ही फाइनली परचेज द प्रोडक्ट, ठीक है. देयर द कैशियर वाजंट वेरी हेल्पफुल, so then that was a negative aspect. Okay, then what was the usage, how the product actually was, right. How easy or how difficult was the product. Okay, then support, कि अगर कुछ प्रॉब्लम थी तो सपोर्ट सिस्टम, कस्टमर सपोर्ट कैसा था, बुरा था या अच्छा था. उसके बाद लास्ट में अगर उसका एक्सपीरियंस अच्छा रहा तो रिपीट परचेज होगा, वरना नहीं होगा, वरना नेगेटिव फीडबैक होगा, ठीक है. तो ये सारी चीजें आपके प्रोडक्ट साइकिल को बहुत मैटर करती हैं. तो यहाँ पर हम क्या करते हैं, दो तरीके के कस्टमर जर्नी मैप्स बनाते हैं. एक होता है एज इज और एक होता है एज इफ. तो एज इज होता है एग्जिस्टिंग कस्टमर जर्नी मैप, ठीक है. और एज इफ जब हम अपने सॉल्यूशंस इंप्लीमेंट तो हमारा कस्टमर जर्नी मैप कैसे होगा, ठीक है. राइट नाउ वी डोंट हैव द टाइम, सो वी वोंट डू दिस, बट यू कैन टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट एंड ट्राई डूइंग इट फॉर योर प्रोडक्ट लेटर ऑन, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. अच्छा सेकेंड, एक्सक्यूज मी सर, आई नीड योर हेल्प. हाँ, थैंक यू सो मच. Yes. So brainstorming हम ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड सर, ठीक है. अब आती है प्रोटोटाइपिंग की बारी, ठीक है. यहाँ पर आप अपना स्केच करेंगे या फिर आप एटलीस्ट एक पेपर पे या किसी भी मटेरियल पे जो एक्चुअली आपका प्रोडक्ट नहीं है उसमें आप उसको बना के देखेंगे कि फिजिकली, अगर वो फिजिकल प्रोडक्ट है, इन योर केस इट्स अ फिजिकल प्रोडक्ट, सो मे बी यू कैन वर्क अराउंड अ थर्मोकोल प्रोटोटाइप और maybe a cardboard prototype, because you need to understand how it's going to look and feel and maybe see your idea getting materialized, right. और तब आपको कुछ चेंज लगता है तो आप उसको कर सकते हो वहाँ पर at that stage. In your case it could be a tangible idea, it could be an intangible idea. So if you're coming up with an app for say, you'll first make a paper prototype. So how the screens are going to look and how the interfaces are going to be, so you're going to make that, sketch it out on a paper. Then you will start working on a digital prototype. ठीक है? So that is your prototyping stage. We could have done this, we don't have time, so we are kind of skipping that. Major part you already have done, so a lot of understanding. I hope कि आपको समझ में आया हो. Sir, next slide. So the last part of the 5D process is very, very crucial part, which we don't speak about much, is usability testing. So take out recruiters, recruit some participants from your user segments and see how what sort of experience they have with your prototype. Or let's say one demo product that you have. And then consider their insights and get them onto your product. Because this whole 5D process is very iterative, and then truly you will have a product which will actually work for the user who is actually facing the problem. You will solve their problems, and in today's time we need products who solve our problems, right? That is the kind of products we are looking for. And that is truly product innovation. And with that, I'll conclude the workshop. Thank you so much for participating. It meant so much. Thank you so much. I hope it was of great value to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for putting that extra effort, and you were so into. Since morning I'm watching you and you were so passionate about your work. So really we appreciate your time and thought processes to you. So that तालियां जितने लोग बचे अभी. This was really a wonderful session. So ultimately जो मैम ने सीखे इसमें से कोई एक जन बात करेगा. आप आ जाइए please. But this concept was very novel and innovative, where we have conducted this workshop. तो थोड़ा अलग था. Generally there was too much of ज्ञान, but ये ज्ञान नहीं था, एक practical session था. ये पहली बार हमने introduce किया है. तो आपका क्या take है इस पे?
Haven't sort of इतना creativity इतना थोड़े time में कभी सोचा नहीं था मैंने कभी. Like I never did it. So ये एक चीज़ है. Secondly, कितने perspective से एक चीज़ से देख सकते हो. That is one more thing. So yeah, incredible. Like I would love to have such sessions, and if I can just join, imagine, so that would be something very great.
Thank you so much. That means
Yes. So you can follow her, you can DM her if you have any queries on this. She's approachable, she will answer back to your queries. So I think, ma'am, you're on Instagram.
And the thing is, she is triggering the young minds with thinking power. Because, yeah, in less time, and because see, our education system is more of the channelized kind of thinking. And she is teaching you the open kind of thinking. So that's the main difference. And their company, Imagine X, is making a great initiative in that and great impact in the society. So we congratulate that, and we want to connect with them for our startup for sure, down the line. Yeah.
Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip!
Hooray! Hold. One more.
Every year, she is fantastic and more fantastic this time than last time. Yeah, definitely. You are X+1 every year. Growing, yeah, yes, definitely. And we'll be catching soon for some seminars. That's good. Thank you very much for everyone. And thank you for all sponsors, HSBC, Bank of Baroda, and all the exhibitors. Thank you.